Okay, folks, welcome back to Marketing Ops AMA. This week, Brandon is going to be telling us about some very fun AI stuff that he's been working on. And then I'm going to ask him some questions about it. So, Brandon, take it away.
Yeah, so a part of the growing pains of a agency is financial operations.
Uh-huh.
And as I've transitioned sort of out of the day to day. I've had to still deal with some of the consequences of previous, poor decisions. Right.
This is true for literally everybody in marketing ops. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you're always dealing with somebody else's poor decisions, including you.
Yeah, yeah. So um, a part of that is making sure that the accountants and all of the everyone that's doing work in QuickBooks and things like that, they have the context
Yes.
to categorize things effectively, or to know what this transaction is about or that is about. I'm going to talk through how we use AI, namely Claude and Claude projects, to reduce the reliance on myself. So the first sort of approach here is I take sample data, and I take all of the examples that I think would be relevant. So here's what it looks like when some income comes in, but it doesn't necessarily come in the way an accountant might be looking for it, or a bookkeeper might be looking for it.
And actually, I'm
Uh,
so sorry. I just want to pause. I know you hate when I like interrupt your thought process. I know you and I, this example works great for marketing ops people. And we talked about that right before we started recording. Can you just explain that now before you get into your example?
okay. So you can turn any process into components that you can train a model on. So if your request process is large enough to where there are different types of requests, and you
Mhm.
want to be able to detect what the request is about, you can train the model on, here's the description, here are all the comments, here are the stakeholders that are involved. Do your best to categorize this, because if you have a traditional request process where the user has to select what the request is about, they may not always select the right request. Right?
Yes. Okay.
And if your routing process is dependent on what they pick, it could send it to the wrong person. Right. So like that's a
Excellent.
use case. That's a use case where maybe you want to fall back that it's trained on your own information.
Okay. Proceed with our poor QuickBooks data.
So, I take a sample revenue transaction, and
Yeah.
maybe some other sample deposits, and then some sample transactions that are for business that the rest of the team may not have the context about. Like if you went on a business trip, or you rented a co-working space, or all of these things, since you did it, you have the context of it, and they're recurring, like they happen over time. So what you can do is put in the context of why you're categorizing it in that way,
Mhm,
add
mhm.
notes, and sort of add corner cases that may arise, right? And teach it to flag things that need to be manually reviewed, which can reduce the likelihood that it hallucinates. So it's really applicable to any process driven around a lot of data and capturing a lot of information at one point in time. But
Mhm.
it's saved us a ton of time
It
going back and
has.
forth with the team. And
No, no, no. I think it super has. And the other, like, as you're talking about this, I feel like as long as you can anonymize people, like you could technically run like MQLs through this or something to be like, what is the
totally.
data that is missing? Or like, has this MQL been routed correctly? Like, I feel like we solve so many routing issues.
Yep.
Like, why did this person go here? And if actually, as I'm talking about this, I was like, dang, there's a client that I'm thinking of. Like, do we just feed their routing rules? And no, I'm serious. Do we feed the routing rules into Claude? And then when the record comes through, we just pull out the email out. We like anonymize the email.
Hmm.
And then we put the output like, hey, Claude, you have the routing rules. This is the routing that happened. Can you explain why this outcome was what it was?
Yeah, and a lot of the I think there's a marketing ops AI assistant out there. I'm forgetting the name of it.
Yes.
And I think it
Scary.
Mary, yeah, and I think it works in a very similar way, where there aren't as many use cases as you think that you need PII to
Yeah.
determine to add this sort of observability to your processes.
Mm-hmm.
You really just need to give it the business rules and the
Mm-hmm.
criteria that record had that triggered the business rules, and then from there it can determine.
It can do a lot of that. I'm suddenly actually really excited about this lead data thing because there's the one client we answer lead data questions like all the time, and I don't think I'm doing anything special in reading them or in answering because I'm just reading through the logic
Right.
and parsing the logic into a more user-friendly format, right? Which 100% is not something like Alysha the person needs to do, and I can go like help fix the logic, but I don't need to be the one explaining it. This is also, though, I think you'll appreciate this tangent. I've been trying to also build a GPT for the invoice categorization work. So we basically have invoices, which you can think of as any data set, and then I need it to be categorized in specific ways, right? And I was really proud of myself because the GPT was not working. Let's start there. It was literally making up stuff. It was 100% like, because I would like have the GPT run the calculations, and I was running the calculations manually in Excel, right, to verify that it was doing the right thing.
Yep.
And it was wrong. It was just 100% wrong all the time. So I got tired of the custom GPT and I just threw it into like regular chat GPT, and it was right. It came out right every time. So I literally asked it, hey, why are you right? And why is the custom GPT wrong? And it was able to tell me that there is a box setting somewhere that I hadn't checked because custom GPTs apparently don't use SQL or like scripting. He was literally just reading the first few rows of my data and then like imagining the rest of it, or like not hallucinating, but just extrapolating what the rest of it would be.
What it might be. Yeah.
What it might be. And I was like, no. I need you to literally read every row in the spreadsheet of data and then run the calculations I'm asking you.
Yeah.
And I was able to use ChatGPT to troubleshoot ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And
I do it all the time.
It's great. No, I was so proud of myself for that.
Yeah.
So it was a checkbox. It was a checkbox that had told me, go hit this checkbox and it'll do the thing. And it did.
Yeah. That's an awesome story.
I know. I'm so proud of myself. Anyway, folks, I think that's a good place to wrap this week. If you have fun things that you have done with ChatGPT or like have interrogated ChatGPT in fun and interesting ways, let us know. We'd love to have you.
See ya.
Bye, folks.